Your work ethic thinks it's dedicated when it's actually being exploited. A crippling fear of spiders, despite never actually meeting a particularly menacing one? Is your anxiety a family heirloom, passed down like a slightly creepy antique? It's like your subconscious is hoarding anxieties, stuffing them away in a mental attic alongside your childhood trauma and that one embarrassing karaoke incident. Imagine this. You're terrified of public speaking, a classic fear. But where did that terror actually originate? Was it a single bad experience, or something more insidious, something inherited? Perhaps your painfully shy Aunt Mildred always warned you about the perils of self-expression, whispering tales of social ostracization with the chilling conviction of a seasoned horror novelist. Perhaps it's not just your Aunt Mildred. Maybe your fear is a family legacy, a whispered secret passed down through generations, like a particularly persistent earworm. It's a chilling thought, isn't it? That your anxieties aren't solely your own creation, but rather a haunting echo from your ancestors' past. Therapy is expensive, but inheriting your grandmother's crippling fear of pigeons is completely free. Maybe your quiet, introverted grandmother always whispered warnings about the dangers of drawing attention to yourself. These weren't necessarily malicious warnings, mind you, more like ingrained survival instincts passed down through generations of cautious souls. It's a fascinating concept, isn't it? The idea that our deepest fears aren't always our own, that we might be carrying the psychological baggage of our ancestors. This isn't some far-fetched theory dreamed up in a dimly lit psychology lab. It's a core concept in the work of Carl Jung, the brilliant, slightly eccentric Swiss psychiatrist who delved into the darker corners of the human psyche. Jung believed that our fears aren't always the result of personal experiences. Sometimes they're echoes from the collective unconscious, a sort of universal repository of human experiences and anxieties. Think of it as a vast, shared hard drive where all of humanity's fears and traumas are stored, and sometimes you accidentally download some truly creepy files. It's like inheriting a haunted house, except the ghosts are your anxieties. Your brain treats social interactions like job interviews. It meticulously prepares presentations, rehearses responses, and analyzes every micro-expression for signs of rejection. But what if that anxiety isn't just about you? Sensing grounded strength offers steady support. What if, as Carl Jung suggested, some of our deepest fears are inherited, like a creepy family heirloom passed down through generations? Imagine your crippling fear of public speaking isn't just your problem, it's a legacy, a whispered secret passed down from a long line of painfully shy ancestors. It's a chilling thought, isn't it? That your anxieties aren't solely your own creation, but echoes from the past. This isn't some wild conspiracy theory, it's a core concept in Jungian psychology. Jung believed that many of our deepest anxieties are inherited, subconscious echoes of our ancestors' traumas. He called these inherited fears archetypes, residing in the collective unconscious, a shared reservoir of human experience. Think of it like this: your subconscious is a giant family reunion, and not everyone is thrilled to be there. So, that inexplicable fear of spiders? Maybe it's not just because of that one creepy movie you watched as a child. Perhaps it's a legacy from generations of people who, quite reasonably, feared eight-legged creatures lurking in the shadows. Your subconscious has more opinions than a food critic, and most of them are inherited. Imagine a family tree where each branch holds a hidden fear, silently passed down through generations. A fear of the dark might stem from a long line of ancestors who lived in precarious times, their anxieties subtly shaping the DNA of their descendants. It's a spooky, subconscious game of telephone, whispering anxieties through time. Visualize it. A shadowy figure lurking in your family history, its whispers shaping your anxieties. This doesn't mean you're doomed to repeat the past. Jung believed that by understanding the origin of our fears, we can disarm their power. Recognizing that your fear isn't entirely yours can be incredibly liberating. It shifts the blame from your weak to your ancestors had some seriously bad luck. The moment you realize your fear might not be your own, it loses some of its terrifying grip. That fear of heights isn't a personal failing, but a potential echo of a past trauma. This understanding offers a path to healing and self-acceptance. It's like finally understanding the lyrics to that sad love song your heart keeps replaying. So, next time you face a seemingly irrational fear, ask yourself, whose baggage are you carrying? Maybe it's not yours at all. And that, my friends, is a truly liberating thought. Now, go explore your family history, and maybe pack a therapist. That's the thing about inherited anxieties, they're sneaky. They burrow deep, whispering doubts and fears that feel entirely personal. Yet are echoes of experiences you never lived. It's like your brain is a haunted house, filled with the ghosts of your ancestors' anxieties. They aren't trying to scare you, necessarily, just reminding you of things they never quite got over. Think about it. A persistent feeling of unease in large crowds? Could that be a faint echo of a time when being noticed was dangerous? Or a deep-seated fear of betrayal, passed down from a generation that experienced intense conflict? These inherited anxieties are like family heirlooms. But instead of silver spoons, you get a healthy dose of paranoia. Therapy is expensive. But carrying around generational trauma is free and heavy. Imagine a silent movie playing in your subconscious, a black and white film of your ancestors' lives. Their struggles, their fears, their traumas, all subtly influencing your reactions, your choices, your very being. You are the culmination of their stories, their joys, and their anxieties. And sometimes, their anxieties are a bit too loud. You're not overthinking, you're just echoing. This isn't about blaming your ancestors for your anxieties, it's about understanding them. It's about recognizing that some of your deepest fears aren't inherently yours, but rather a complex inheritance, a subtle echo of the past. This knowledge can be profoundly empowering. It's like finding the off switch to a radio playing a song you hate. The turning point comes when you realize you're not alone in your struggles. You're connected to a long line of people who faced similar challenges, who felt similar fears. This realization can be deeply comforting and oddly, incredibly funny, once you consider the absurdity of it all. Your gut feeling, however, may still be processing your great Aunt Mildred's questionable life choices, even while sensing grounded strength and steady support. Understanding inherited anxiety isn't about assigning blame, it's about empathy. It's about acknowledging that your anxieties might be a complex tapestry woven from your ancestors' experiences. Imagine your subconscious as a vast, echoing chamber where the whispers of generations past mingle with your own thoughts. Sometimes, those whispers are quite loud, aren't they? Think of it this way. You inherit physical traits, eye color, height, perhaps a predisposition to certain illnesses. Why wouldn't you also inherit aspects of your emotional landscape? It's not a curse, it's a legacy, a complex and often hilarious one, considering some of the things our ancestors got themselves into. Your brain saves your trauma in 4K. But your grocery list in potato quality, that's the kind of quirky inheritance we're talking about. Understanding this inherited anxiety isn't about finding fault, it's about compassionate self-awareness. It's about recognizing that your anxieties might be a rich tapestry woven from the experiences of those who came before you. Picture your subconscious as a vast, echoing hall where the whispers of generations past blend with your own inner voice. Sometimes, those whispers can be quite a chorus, can't they? It's like inheriting a slightly haunted house. You didn't build the spooky parts, but you get to live with them. You might find a dusty old trunk filled with your great-grandmother's anxieties about social gatherings, or your grandfather's fear of the dark, all neatly packaged and ready to unpack in your own life. The funny thing is, once you realize this inherited baggage isn't entirely yours, it starts to lose its power. It's like realizing that the creepy shadow in your peripheral vision isn't a monster, but just a poorly placed coat rack. Suddenly, that overwhelming dread of public speaking isn't a personal failure, but a legacy, a family tradition of sorts, passed down through generations of shy souls. Therapy is expensive, but making the same mistake 47 times is free, and our ancestors have mastered this art. This isn't about dismissing your feelings, it's about gaining a new perspective. It's about understanding that your emotional landscape is a complex terrain, shaped by both your personal experiences and the echoes of your ancestors' lives. You're not just you. You're a living library of family history, a walking, talking archive of inherited anxieties and resilience. And sometimes, that archive is hilariously dysfunctional. Understanding your emotional landscape as a complex terrain, shaped by personal experiences and ancestral echoes, is key. You are not just you. You are a living library of family history, a walking, talking archive of inherited anxieties and resilience. Sometimes, that archive is hilariously dysfunctional. Think of your subconscious as a cluttered attic filled with the emotional junk of generations. You might find a dusty old trunk filled with your great-grandmother's anxieties about social gatherings, or your grandfather's fear of the dark, all neatly packaged and ready to unpack in your own life. Jung believed we inherit not only physical traits, but also psychological predispositions, a sort of emotional inheritance tax we never asked for. It's as if our ancestors' anxieties whisper in our ears, constantly reminding us of their past experiences. But remember, you get to choose how loud you let those whispers become. This isn't about blaming your ancestors for your anxieties, it's about understanding their influence and reclaiming your narrative. It's about realizing that the seemingly irrational fears you carry might have deep roots in the collective unconscious, a shared pool of inherited experiences and archetypes. It's a fascinating, and sometimes slightly unsettling, concept. But it also offers a path towards self-discovery and healing. It's like finally understanding the secret family recipe for anxiety, generations of whispered anxieties mixed with a dash of existential dread. Delicious, isn't it? Jung called these inherited anxieties, archetypes, universal patterns of behavior and experience that shape our subconscious. Think of them as the default settings on your emotional operating system, preloaded with the anxieties and fears of your ancestors. They're not necessarily your fears, but they're certainly in you. These archetypes manifest in various ways, from seemingly irrational phobias to recurring relationship patterns. Maybe you are inexplicably drawn to chaotic relationships, mirroring a family history of tumultuous partnerships. Or perhaps you have an intense fear of failure, echoing your ancestors' struggles for survival. It's a strange and fascinating interplay between past and present, a subtle, yet powerful influence on our lives. It's like discovering your family tree is also a family fear tree, laden with anxieties that seem to blossom in each generation. Understanding this does not diminish your personal experiences, it adds another layer of complexity and depth to your self-understanding. It's about recognizing that your inner world is not solely a product of your own making. It's a tapestry woven from threads of personal experience and ancestral echoes. And sometimes, those ancestral echoes are singing a surprisingly catchy tune of anxiety, the kind that gets stuck in your head for days. These archetypes, these inherited anxieties, are not just lurking in the shadows. They actively shape our choices, our relationships, and even our career paths. Think of it this way, your family's history is not just a dusty photo album. It's a living, breathing entity that whispers its anxieties into your very being. It's a subtle, insidious influence, shaping your preferences and fears in ways you might not even realize, even sensing grounded strength offered and steady support. Sometimes, these inherited anxieties manifest as seemingly irrational phobias. A fear of spiders, for example, might not stem from a single traumatic encounter, but from generations of ancestors who lived in close proximity to dangerous arachnids. It's a survival mechanism, a subconscious warning system passed down through the ages. It's as if your DNA has a built-in fear of creepy crawlies setting, whether you like it or not. Sometimes, that setting is stuck on high. The good news is that while we may inherit these anxieties, we are not their prisoners. So, your fear of clowns? Probably not from a single bad birthday party, more likely, inherited from generations of people wary of those hiding their faces. It's a deliciously dark thought, isn't it? Like your anxieties are a family heirloom, passed down with the silver and the slightly tarnished reputation. We all carry this invisible baggage, this collection of inherited fears and anxieties, shaping our perceptions and reactions in ways we may not even consciously understand. It's a kind of psychological inheritance tax, payable in heightened anxiety and irrational fears. Think of it as a ghostly whisper from the past, a subtle influence on your present. Perhaps your aversion to commitment stems from a long line of heartbroken romantics, their emotional scars echoing down through the generations. Or maybe your crippling fear of public speaking is a legacy of ancestors who lived in times when speaking one's mind could be dangerous. It's a fascinating, and sometimes unsettling, concept. It's like discovering that your family's history isn't just a collection of names and dates. but a living, breathing entity that continues to shape your experiences. And sometimes those experiences are shaped by the anxieties of those who came before us, like a spooky, genetic echo. It's a reminder that we are not entirely independent beings. But rather, we are woven into the fabric of our family history, its joys and sorrows, its triumphs and its traumas. Imagine a family tree where each branch holds a hidden fear, silently passed down through generations. A fear of water might stem from a drowned ancestor, manifesting as an inexplicable aversion to swimming. It's a spooky, subconscious game of telephone, whispering anxieties through time. Visualize a shadowy figure lurking in your family history, its whispers shaping your anxieties. This isn't about blaming your ancestors, mind you. It's about understanding the complex tapestry of influences that shape who we are. It's like inheriting a haunted house. You didn't build the place. But you're still dealing with the creaking floorboards and the unsettling drafts. The truly unsettling part? We often don't even realize we're carrying this baggage. These inherited fears can manifest as seemingly irrational phobias or anxieties, inexplicable aversions that feel intensely personal, yet strangely familiar. It's like a genetic predisposition to worry, a pre-programmed anxiety response that kicks in long before we understand why. It's a fascinating concept, this idea of inherited anxieties, a blend of nature and nurture so intricately woven that it's difficult to untangle. It's a testament to the enduring power of the past, its shadowy tendrils reaching into the present, shaping our experiences in ways we may never fully comprehend. But understanding this connection, this ghostly whisper from our ancestors, can be incredibly liberating. It's a step toward self-awareness, a recognition that some of our deepest fears aren't entirely our own. It's a chance to break free from the inherited anxieties that have held us captive for generations. This isn't about blaming our ancestors, it's about understanding the intricate web of influences shaping our lives. Think of it like inheriting a slightly spooky antique. You didn't choose it, but it's now part of your collection, and you must figure out how to live with it. Jung believed we all carry a shared, unconscious reservoir of ancestral experiences, a collective unconscious brimming with universal symbols and archetypes. These aren't literal memories, but rather patterns of behavior, emotions, and fears passed down through generations, like a subtle genetic code for anxiety. He called these inherited anxieties archetypes, essentially pre-programmed psychological blueprints influencing our responses to the world. So, that inexplicable fear of snakes? It might not stem from a childhood encounter, but echo a distant reverberation of our ancestors' survival instincts, a subconscious warning inherited from a time when snakes posed a genuine threat. It's a fascinating concept, this inheritance of anxieties, a blend of nature and nurture so intricately woven that it's difficult to disentangle. It's a testament to the enduring power of the past, its shadowy tendrils reaching into the present, shaping our experiences in ways we may never fully comprehend. It's like discovering a secret family recipe for anxiety, generations of careful, unconscious preparation resulting in a dish we're still trying to decipher. Understanding this connection, this ghostly whisper from our ancestors, can be incredibly liberating. It's a step toward self-awareness, a recognition that some of our deepest fears are not entirely our own. It's a chance to break free from the inherited anxieties that have held us captive for generations. And sometimes, understanding that a fear isn't your fault, that it's a legacy, not a personal failing, is the first step to overcoming it. It's a shift from feeling personally responsible for your anxieties to seeing them as a complex inheritance. It's like discovering you're not just battling your own demons, but also those of your ancestors, a whole family of anxieties to work through. But hey, at least you're not alone in the struggle. Your brain treats social interactions as if they were job interviews. We're constantly evaluating our performance, second-guessing every word, and agonizing over potential blunders. It's exhausting. This constant self-assessment reflects our inherent need for connection and belonging. We crave acceptance, and this desire can manifest as a relentless inner critic, constantly judging our social performance. It's like having a tiny, hypercritical stage manager inside our heads, directing our every move and whispering doubts. This inner critic can be surprisingly harsh, often harsher than any external judgment. Our brains seem wired to anticipate rejection, constantly preparing for the worst-case scenario. Consider this. Our brains are wired for survival, and social acceptance has always been crucial. In prehistoric times, ostracism could be a death sentence. So, our brains developed a sophisticated system for monitoring social cues and predicting potential threats, a system that often overreacts. It's an evolutionary hangover from a time when social rejection was far more dangerous. This explains why we overthink every interaction, every text, every social media post. Our brains are wired to be cautious, anticipating the possibility of social rejection. It's a constant, low-level hum of anxiety, a background noise coloring our social interactions. It's like having a security system that's overly sensitive. It's always on high alert, even without a real threat. Your brain treats social interactions like job interviews. We constantly evaluate our performance, second-guessing every word and agonizing over potential blunders. It's exhausting. This constant self-assessment reflects our inherent need for connection and belonging. We crave acceptance, and this desire can manifest as a relentless inner critic, constantly judging our social performance. It's like having a tiny, hypercritical stage manager inside our heads, directing our every move and whispering doubts. This inner critic can be surprisingly harsh, often harsher than any external judgment. Our brains seem wired to anticipate rejection, constantly preparing for the worst-case scenario. Consider this. Our brains are wired for survival, and social acceptance has always been crucial. In prehistoric times, ostracism could be a death sentence. Therefore, our brains developed a sophisticated system for monitoring social cues and predicting potential threats, a system that often overreacts. It's an evolutionary hangover from a time when social rejection was far more dangerous. This explains why we overthink every interaction, every text, every social media post. Our brains are wired to be cautious, anticipating the possibility of social rejection. It's a constant, low-level hum of anxiety, a background noise coloring our social interactions. It's like a security system that's too sensitive. It's always on high alert, even without a real threat. So, are you terrified of public speaking? Probably not. Because you tripped over a microphone cord in 3rd grade. More likely, it's a primal fear of being judged. A fear passed down through generations who knew that social exile meant survival issues. We're all walking, talking collections of ancestral anxieties. It's as if our brains are haunted by the ghosts of our ancestors' social awkwardness. So, your fear of clowns? Probably not from a single bad birthday party. More likely, it's inherited from generations of people wary of those hiding their faces. It's a deep-seated, almost instinctual distrust. A subconscious echo of ancestors who rightfully feared those who concealed their identities. Think about it. Masks, disguises, hidden intentions. Our brains are still hardwired to be suspicious of anything that obscures true identity. It's like a genetic predisposition to paranoia, passed down through millennia of better safe than sorry survival instincts. And that, my friend, is the wonderfully terrifying power of the collective unconscious. This isn't to say we're doomed to be perpetually anxious. Though, understanding the origins of our fears, even the seemingly silly ones, can be incredibly liberating. It's like cracking the code to an ancient, cryptic message hidden within our DNA. Once we understand the message, the fear loses some of its power. The fear isn't you, it's a legacy, a historical artifact of survival mechanisms. Understanding the origin of your fear can disarm its power. Recognizing that your fear isn't entirely yours can help you detach from it emotionally. It's like realizing that the creepy shadow lurking in your basement isn't a monster, but just a misplaced coat rack. Suddenly, the terror is replaced by mild annoyance. This shift in perspective allows you to approach your fears with a newfound sense of curiosity rather than paralyzing dread. Instead of battling your fears head-on, you can begin to understand their origins, history, and lineage. Think of it as conducting a family history of your anxieties. You're tracing the lineage of your fears, uncovering the stories and traumas that shaped them. It's like tracing a bloodline, not of kings and queens, but of anxieties and insecurities. You're not just dealing with your own fears, you're unraveling a generational narrative. And that, in itself, can be quite empowering. It's a journey of self-discovery that transcends the individual, connecting you to the collective human experience. It's a humbling and surprisingly hilarious realization. You're not just battling your demons, you're researching your family history, one phobia at a time. It's a darkly comedic exploration of your inner landscape, a voyage into the strange, fascinating world of inherited anxieties. This isn't just about understanding your own anxieties, it's about understanding the shared human experience. We are all, in a way, walking libraries of inherited fears, anxieties, and traumas. Think of it like this. Your subconscious is a dusty old attic filled with your ancestors' emotional baggage. You might stumble upon a forgotten trunk filled with anxieties you never knew you possessed. Some anxieties might seem completely illogical, a fear of buttons, perhaps, or a deep-seated aversion to beige. But within that illogicality lies a story, a whisper from the past. It's a fascinating, slightly disturbing, and undeniably humorous journey into the human psyche. It's a story woven through generations, a tapestry of inherited anxieties and unexpected phobias. It's like discovering your family's secret recipe for disaster, passed down through generations with a hearty dose of don't ask questions. These inherited fears aren't necessarily a curse. Understanding them can be incredibly liberating. It's like finally understanding the cryptic instructions on an ancient map. Once you decipher the code, the treasure, a sense of self-acceptance, is yours. It's a journey into the heart of your family history, a voyage into the collective unconscious, and it all starts with one simple question. Whose baggage are you carrying? It's a process of uncovering hidden narratives, of peeling back layers of inherited anxieties to reveal the underlying stories. Imagine your family history as a vast, sprawling novel, filled with untold tales of triumph and trauma. Your anxieties aren't just random glitches in your system. They're chapters in that novel, echoes of experiences lived and lessons learned, or not learned, by your ancestors. Sometimes these lessons are passed down as phobias that seem utterly baffling today, sensing grounded strength offered as steady support. Think of your fear of heights. Did you fall as a child? Perhaps. Or maybe, that fear is a faint echo of a great-great-grandparent who lived in a time when climbing a tall building was a dangerous undertaking, a constant risk of a fatal fall. The fear, then, is a form of inherited caution, a subconscious warning whispered down through generations. It's a fascinating and slightly creepy thought. Your subconscious is not just a repository of your own personal experiences, it's a vast archive of your family's collective history, a living testament to the enduring power of inherited trauma. It's a darkly humorous reflection on the nature of inheritance, suggesting that sometimes what you inherit is not just wealth or property, but also a hefty dose of ancestral anxieties. It's a reminder that our often seemingly irrational fears can have surprisingly deep roots, connecting us to our past in ways we never imagined. This understanding, however, is not meant to burden you, rather, it's a path towards self-discovery and healing. By understanding the origins of your fears, you begin to unravel the complex tapestry of your family's history and, in doing so, unravel the mysteries of your own self. It's like a ghostly inheritance, a legacy of anxieties passed down through generations, shaping our responses to the world in ways we might never consciously understand. Think of it as a family recipe for fear, passed down through generations, each edition subtly altering the final product. Sometimes the recipe is perfectly palatable, other times, it leaves a distinctly bitter aftertaste. Perhaps your aversion to enclosed spaces isn't solely your own. Maybe it's a faint echo of a great aunt trapped in a mind collapse, her terror reverberating through generations. Or that inexplicable fear of the dark? Could it be a legacy from ancestors who lived in a time when darkness held real dangers, where shadows concealed predators and unseen threats? These inherited fears, these psychological echoes, aren't simply irrational. They're narratives, stories whispered across time, shaping our emotional landscapes in profound and often unexpected ways. They are, in a sense, the ghosts in our family's machinery, quietly influencing our behavior. It's a rather unsettling, yet strangely fascinating concept, isn't it? The idea that our deepest fears might not be our own, but inherited echoes from a past we never knew is humbling and underscores the deep connection we have to our ancestors, even across vast stretches of time and experience. Understanding this inherited baggage allows us to approach our fears with a newfound perspective, recognizing them not as personal failings, but as inherited narratives waiting to be understood and, ultimately, transcended. It's a journey of self-discovery, a quest to unravel the tangled threads of our family history, and in doing so, to better understand ourselves. This isn't about blaming your ancestors for your anxieties. It's about understanding the context of your fears. Think of it like this. You wouldn't judge a plant for growing toward the sun, even if it grew crookedly. Similarly, your anxieties, shaped by generations of experiences, are simply a response to the environment, both physical and psychological, that shaped your ancestors. It's a fascinating interplay of nature and nurture, a testament to the enduring power of inherited traits. And sometimes, those inherited traits aren't just physical, they're emotional and psychological. They are the whispers of the past, shaping the present. They are the subtle echoes of trauma, anxieties, and fears passed down through generations, shaping who we are in ways we might not even realize. It's a humbling thought, indeed. It's a bit like inheriting a haunted house. You didn't build it, but you're living with its ghosts. You might not understand why the attic door creaks, or why the shadows seem to move on their own. But understanding the house's history, the stories of those who lived there before, helps contextualize the strange occurrences. Similarly, understanding your family history can help contextualize your anxieties, and understand why certain fears might seem to haunt you, even when you can't quite explain them. It's about acknowledging that your emotional landscape wasn't created in a vacuum, but rather shaped by the experiences of those who came before you. It's a perspective shift, a journey of understanding, and ultimately, acceptance. And maybe, just maybe, a path toward healing. This isn't about finding a scapegoat for your issues, it's about understanding the intricate tapestry of your being. It's like tracing the roots of an ancient tree. You may not understand the full extent of its reach, but by following its branches, you discover the strength and resilience that have allowed it to endure. Similarly, by exploring your family history, you uncover the strengths and vulnerabilities that have shaped you. You discover echoes of past traumas, whispers of ancestral anxieties, and the resilience that has allowed your family to survive and thrive despite adversity. It's a humbling process, one that connects you to a larger narrative, a story far greater than your own, offering grounded strength and steady support. Consider the anxieties that seem to run in your family, a persistent fear of failure, a deep-seated insecurity, or a tendency toward perfectionism. These might not be simply learned behaviors. They could be echoes of ancestral struggles, anxieties passed down through generations like whispered secrets. Understanding this doesn't diminish your own experience. It enriches it, adding layers of depth and complexity to your self-understanding. It's a journey of self-discovery, a path toward a more profound and compassionate understanding of yourself and your place in the world. It's about recognizing that your emotional landscape isn't just your own creation, it's a collaborative work of art, painted by generations of experiences. It's a rich and complex history, and by understanding it, you gain a deeper appreciation for the resilience and vulnerabilities that make you who you are. Understanding the inherited nature of some anxieties doesn't mean you're powerless. It's not about blaming your ancestors for your neuroses. It's about acknowledging the subtle, pervasive influence of their experiences on your own. Think of it this way. You inherit your genes, your physical traits, and yes, even some emotional predispositions. It's not a deterministic sentence, it's a starting point, a blueprint you can modify and reshape. You're not a puppet on strings controlled by your ancestors' fears. You're a sculptor working with the clay of your inheritance, shaping it into the person you want to be. It's a process of self-discovery and empowerment, a journey towards self-acceptance. The first step is acknowledging the influence of your family history on your own emotional landscape. This isn't about dredging up family secrets or engaging in endless psychoanalysis. It's about gaining a broader perspective on your own anxieties. Imagine your fears as a complex equation. Understanding the inherited components helps simplify the equation, making it easier to solve. By recognizing the ancestral roots of your anxieties, you can begin to disentangle them from your sense of self, reclaiming your narrative and rewriting your story. It's about taking ownership of your emotional life, not by dismissing your feelings, but by understanding their origins and forging your own path forward. It's about choosing your own emotional narrative, rather than being dictated by the past. It's about embracing the full spectrum of your being, vulnerabilities and all. This isn't about becoming a family historian, digging up dusty old photo albums to find the source of your anxieties. It's a much more subtle, internal process. It's about recognizing patterns, noticing recurring themes in your emotional responses, and understanding how those themes might connect to your family's history. Perhaps a deep-seated fear of abandonment echoes a childhood where a parent was frequently absent, or maybe crippling perfectionism stems from generations of high achievers who placed immense pressure on themselves. It's like tracing the faint lines of a faded map, piecing together fragments of emotional heritage to understand your current emotional landscape. The beauty of this approach lies in its empowering nature. It's not about assigning blame, but about gaining agency. It's about acknowledging the past without being trapped by it. It's about realizing that your anxieties are not simply random occurrences, but rather echoes of past experiences, woven into the fabric of your being. By understanding these echoes, you can begin to rewrite the story, creating a new narrative where you are the author, not just the character. It's a journey of self-discovery, a process of reclaiming your emotional sovereignty, and ultimately, a path toward greater self-compassion and acceptance. You are not defined by the anxieties you carry, but by how you choose to navigate them. This is not about finding a single aha moment, a specific ancestor who cursed you with a fear of butterflies. It's more like peeling back the layers of an onion, each layer revealing a new nuance of your emotional landscape. You might discover a pattern of codependency in your family, a tendency to put others' needs before your own, passed down through generations. Or perhaps a deep-seated fear of failure, a constant striving for perfection, echoing the relentless ambitions of your ancestors. The goal is not to pinpoint the exact origin, but to understand the underlying pattern, the recurring theme playing out in your life. Understanding this pattern begins to loosen its grip. You start to see that these deeply ingrained anxieties are not immutable. They are not fixed points in your personality, but pathways that can be rerouted and redirected. It's like realizing that a riverbed, though carved over centuries, can still be gently reshaped, its course altered by conscious effort. This is not about erasing your history, but recontextualizing it, seeing it with fresh eyes, and finding your own way to navigate the currents of your emotions. It's about taking ownership of your emotional narrative, shaping it to reflect your values, aspirations, and your unique journey. This realization is profoundly liberating. It shifts the weight of responsibility from your shoulders, freeing you from the burden of carrying the anxieties of generations past. It allows you to approach your challenges not as personal failings, but as echoes of a complex and often challenging family history. Embracing the complexities of your emotional inheritance, you acknowledge the influence of the past while simultaneously asserting your agency in shaping your future. It's a journey of self-discovery, reclaiming your emotional autonomy, and ultimately, a path toward greater self-acceptance and peace. This newfound understanding feels like shedding a heavy cloak, a garment woven from anxieties you didn't even choose. Suddenly, the weight lifts, the pressure eases, and you can breathe again. It's not about denying your past, but about recognizing that you are not defined by it. You are not your ancestors' fears made manifest. You are a unique individual, capable of forging your own path and creating your own emotional landscape. This isn't a magical cure-all, mind you. It's a shift in perspective, a reframing of your narrative. It's about acknowledging the intricate tapestry of your family history while simultaneously weaving your own unique thread into the fabric of your life. It's about recognizing that you are not simply a product of your past, but the architect of your future. You are not doomed to repeat your ancestors' mistakes. You have the power to rewrite the script. This understanding doesn't erase the anxieties, not immediately. It allows you to see them differently, to approach them with a newfound sense of compassion, both for yourself and for those who came before you. It's a journey, not a destination, a gradual process of disentangling yourself from inherited burdens and embracing the freedom of self-determination. It's a profound act of self-compassion, recognizing that you've carried a weight you didn't choose, and now you're choosing to let it go. That, my friend, is incredibly powerful. This newfound understanding feels like shedding a heavy cloak, a garment woven from anxieties you didn't even choose. Suddenly, the weight lifts, the pressure eases, and you can breathe again. It's not about denying your past, but about recognizing that you are not defined by it. You are not your ancestors' fears made manifest. You are a unique individual, capable of forging your own path and creating your own emotional landscape. This isn't a magical cure-all, mind you. It's a shift in perspective, a reframing of your narrative. It's about acknowledging the intricate tapestry of your family history while simultaneously weaving your own unique thread into the fabric of your life. It's about recognizing that you are not simply a product of your past, but the architect of your future. You are not doomed to repeat the mistakes of your ancestors. You have the power to rewrite the script. Think of it like this: your family history is a really old, slightly creaky house. You inherited it, and some rooms are spooky, filled with cobwebs of ancestral anxieties. But you get to renovate. You get to paint the walls, add skylights, and maybe even knock down a few walls of outdated fear. This understanding doesn't erase the anxieties, not immediately. It allows you to see them differently, to approach them with a newfound sense of compassion, both for yourself and for your ancestors. It's a journey, not a destination, a gradual process of disentangling yourself from inherited burdens and embracing the freedom of self-determination. It's a profound act of self-compassion, recognizing that you've carried a weight you didn't choose, and now you're choosing to let it go. And that, my friend, is incredibly powerful. It's like finally understanding that the weird, unsettling humming in your old house isn't a ghost, it's just faulty wiring. You can fix it. So, next time you face a seemingly irrational fear, ask yourself, whose baggage are you carrying? Is this truly your fear, or a family heirloom passed down through generations of whispered anxieties? It's a fascinating, slightly unsettling thought, isn't it? Like discovering your family secret is less about a scandalous affair and more about a collective phobia of garden gnomes. Think of it, maybe your fear of heights isn't about a personal fall, but a subconscious echo of a great-great-grandmother who lived in a precarious cliffside dwelling. Or perhaps your aversion to cats stems from an ancestor who had a truly terrible encounter with a particularly judgmental feline. The possibilities are endless, often hilariously specific, and surprisingly grounded in strength offered by steady support. The truth is, understanding the origins of our fears doesn't magically make them disappear. It's not a quick fix, a magic spell to banish anxieties. But it does offer a profound sense of release, allowing us to approach our fears with a different, gentler perspective. We move from self-blame to a compassionate understanding of our inherited emotional landscape. It's a recognition that you are not solely defined by your own experiences, but by the complex tapestry woven from generations of human experience, both the good and the, well, terrifying. Explore your family history. What anxieties seem to reappear? Perhaps your family's secret shame isn't so secret after all, and perhaps it's not even your shame. It's a journey of self-discovery, peeling back layers to reveal the surprisingly quirky and often hilarious undercurrents of your ancestral anxieties. Think of it as a really weird family reunion. But instead of awkward small talk, you're uncovering the source of your irrational fear of antique porcelain dolls. This isn't about blaming your ancestors, it's about understanding the context of your fears. It's about recognizing that your anxieties might stem less from personal failings and more from echoes of their struggles, triumphs, and bizarre encounters with unexpectedly terrifying garden gnomes. It's about finding humor in the inherited weirdness. Delve into those old photo albums and dusty family stories. Ask your relatives about their quirks, fears, and unusual aversions. You might uncover a hidden family history of surprisingly specific phobias, a lineage of people inexplicably terrified of mime artists, or a generations-long aversion to polka-dotted socks. In this discovery, you might find a deeper understanding of yourself and a lot of unexpected laughter. Sometimes, the best way to conquer our fears is to laugh at them and at the peculiar legacy that bequeathed them to us. Your brain treats social interactions like job interviews. We meticulously craft our personas, rehearse our responses, and agonize over every perceived slight. It's exhausting. But what if some of our social anxieties aren't entirely our own? What if they're inherited, like a slightly awkward family trait? Imagine a shy child, always on the periphery, mirroring their introverted parents' behavior. Is that learned behavior or something more primal? That's where the fascinating work of Carl Jung comes in. He didn't just study the individual psyche, He delved into the collective unconscious, that vast, shared reservoir of human experience. He believed our anxieties aren't always born from our personal experiences. Sometimes, they are inherited echoes of our ancestors' fears. Consider this. Your fear of public speaking might not be solely your own. Perhaps it's a faint echo from a great-aunt publicly shamed decades ago, a trauma resonating through generations. It's a subconscious inheritance, a psychological family heirloom. Therapy is expensive. But shouldering your family's baggage for free? That's a deal you'll regret. Jung termed these inherited anxieties archetypes, universal patterns shaping our behavior. They are like invisible blueprints, subtly influencing our thoughts and feelings, and shaping our responses to the world. These aren't merely random fears, they are ancient, deeply rooted patterns passed down through generations. It's a spooky, yet strangely comforting, thought. Understanding this can be profoundly liberating. It's like realizing that the embarrassing family secret you've been carrying isn't entirely your fault. It's a shared burden, a legacy from the past. This isn't about excusing bad behavior, it's about acknowledging the weight of history. Suddenly, your anxiety about dogs isn't simply you. It's the collective trauma of your ancestors encountering a particularly aggressive chihuahua. What do you think? Anyone with similar experiences should comment below and check out the full video via the link below.